marker on your gsxr, and it's time for that first maintenance. Now, like me, you probably want to save some money, and with some tools you probably have laying around and a little bit of extra supplies, you could save yourself about $200 instead of taking this to the dealership. So in about a 9-video series, I'm going to show you how to do the first maintenance on your 2011 through 2015 gsxr 600 and 750. It should all work the same. So go ahead and choose a video in the link description that I'm going to post next to start your journey. Alright guys, this video is actually on things you're going to need to do the maintenance. Before I start off, I do want to say I am not a mechanic, I am not a professional. Please do this at your own risk. If it's your first time working on a bike, especially this bike, go very slow on it. Take your time, there's no need to rush. That being said, let me go ahead and get into the supplies and items you're going to need to do this job, first maintenance. It's quite a few. So, you're going to need some basic grease to lube all the joints, all the lubrication points, which are the pegs, the levers in the front, the rear pegs, axles, things like that. So you're going to need some grease. Any multi-purpose grease will do, or anything for bearings and axles, things like that. I picked this up at Pep Boys. This was about $4. So you're also going to need Suzuki motor engine oil, 4-cycle. It's 10W40. Now, a lot of people have different opinions. I'm sticking to Suzuki oil at least until 1,000 miles, then I'll change it. Same thing with the oil filter. I'm not putting in a K&N, I'm actually using a Suzuki oil filter that I got from the dealership. Along with, you're going to need a crush washer, specifically for this bike. So when you go to the dealership or order online, make sure that you do get the oil, the filter, and the crush washer. Now you're also going to need a tool. Suzuki says in the manual you need a special tool to take off the filter, which is very tough. So doing some research, I found out I got this from Pep Boys. It's a CTA item number A255 oil filter wrench, which should fit the oil filter here in the gsxr. So we're going to try that out. You're going to need some brake cleaner to clean the exhaust off because you might get oil on the exhaust pipes. Screwdrivers, you're going to need Phillips and regular screwdriver. Some Allen keys because we're going to have to tighten up chassis bolts such as muffler, headers, things like that. You're going to need this. Some more Allen keys to get off the fairings. Chain lube, chain cleaner, and a brush. This is to go ahead and adjust the chain if you need to, and of course you do need to clean it and re-lube it. Gloves, because this is going to be a messy job, so any kind of cheap gloves. Shop towels, that's something that very important. Get it, so you don't fucking make a mess. You're going to need some hex sockets for the different bolts on the body. A socket set to go ahead and torque things down at the end. 2 torque wrenches. Now, you don't need to go expensive on it, but I got these. I think I explained this in another video on Amazon. This is the Tecton 3/8 drive. I also got a 1/2-inch drive for the axle bolts and any of the big bolts that are going to require more torque on the bike. So, let's see here. You're going to need something to put the oil in. And you don't have to, but I recommend doing this if it's your first service, you haven't washed your bike is probably dirty. So I also got this at Pep Boys. It's Maguire's Easy Clean. So I'm going to wash the bike first before I start doing any of this. You're probably thinking, why are you washing the bike first? Well, you're going to be re-lubing everything on the bike, the chain, joints, things like that. It wouldn't make sense to wash the bike after and get all the water and all that shit when that's what you're trying to avoid. So I want to wash the bike first, dry it off really good, and then we'll get to the work. And I'll show you how to do that as well, or you can skip that video in the list of the series. I'm going to show you how everything works in this video, but I do encourage you to go buy the Suzuki gsxr service manual. That way you know what to do, all the torque specs, everything step by step. When I get to the final stage, which is torquing down all the chassis bolts, I'm probably not going to do a video on that because there is a lot of bolts on this bike, and to go through each one of them and giving you the torque specs, it's going to take too long in the video. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to scan them and I'm going to put them on the screen and probably include them on a separate website as a PDF. If you want that, let me know in the comments. Aside from that, you also are probably going to want to get a rear stand and a front stand to assist in oil changing, and it just makes it easier to work on the bike, especially when you're looping the chain too. You want to be able to move that wheel. So that's about it, guys. Oh, and some microfiber towels, because you want to dry off the bike with the softest thing possible. You don't want to scratch it. It's too pretty to fuck up. So let's get started. And if you're a badass like me and you have a mohawk, you might want to get it clipped. That hair out of your face.
That hair out of your face.
Alright guys, and that's Maguire's bike wash. You rinse the bike in the shaded area, spray it on, let it sit for about 10 to 15 seconds. And then rinse it off. Make sure you get your microfiber towel and dry off your bike. All the bolts, get in all the little crevices really good. You don't want any rust, so make sure that you do dry it off properly. And look at that, clean casing again. Looks like brand new, like I just bought the motherfucker. Technically I did. Alright, next video in the series, guys, make sure you watch it.